Welcome to Leos for Leos, the only channel on YouTube dedicated to Leos. So it's safe to subscribe to this channel without cluttering up your subscription feed of other signs that you don't want readings for. It is the only sign that I do readings for. Now, for the month of August 2018, astrologically speaking, we do have quite a few incredible cosmic happenings. We have a Mars retrograde, which it actually began on June 26th, and it's actually going to turn direct during the month of August and finally go completely direct on the 27th of August. And then pretty much after that, Leos could take a deep breath and go, because Mars is sort of a combative kind of a body. So whenever it's on a retrograde, it's time to kind of, anytime you get a retrograde, you do a lot of what we call so you readjust things during the Mars retrograde, and that's kind of a positive thing if you know how to navigate around these times. So you're not just a victim of what's going on in the cosmic region and things just happen. You're ahead of the game by knowing what's going on. And so yes, the Mars retrograde, you need to kind of use that time to readjust your goals, and you'll feel a lot of things like impatience and aggravation and just like, oh, when is this going to happen? This is kind of irritability, wanting to see things happen that maybe you've been working on. And one person said this brilliantly: it's going to feel like you're swimming against the current and basically stagnant. Well, that was pretty much a lot of how you felt in July. July was a very hard time for Leo, and pretty much every sign, of feeling very stagnant. And having to go through that was pretty tough with all the solar eclipses and things like that happening from June through August. It's been a very topsy-turvy time as well. So we are going to get another solar eclipse on the 11th, which is actually going to affect us for about the next 6 months. There's going to be a lot of instability and anxiety. That's stuff that we're going to have to deal with internally. And what it's really there for is really to promote some change within us, a new evolved state of being, psychologically, and also hopefully on the outward face too. We're talking about changing like jobs and living arrangements and attitudes. So it's great because it kind of helps to change all the things that wasn't working before. So you maybe had put up with a whole bunch of stuff years and years before, maybe 5-10 years of stuff that just didn't work, and now this uncomfortable time is going to get us to a place where it's going to help us actually get to a better place after it's all done. So it's us, like, at this point we just have to survive that particular time period. The first 3 weeks of August we're going to be going through that Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrograde is probably one of the more common astrological happenings where people have reported bad communications and technology kind of not being completely fantastic, especially with the technology to do with communication. And Again, with the retrogrades, we want to do the re things. So RE, anything with RE in it, like retreat. You don't have to go out in the limelight and be in front of center stage. Work on the backstage. Work on your performance. Work on your technique. Work on your strategy. Perfect that thing that you want to emerge to the world. Also, one of the things about the Mercury retrograde, it may cause you to look into the past a lot and try to like fix the future, if you will, by looking into the past, which is really a good thing. Why not? So this is a great time to remember, retrack, and remaster anything that needs a little and it could lead to what? A rebirth. So those who are born in the first 2 weeks of August are going to really feel this Mercury retrograde incredible around birthday time. So just look out for that. So right around that time, you'll probably have a bit of feeling of frustration with your job and possibly even health issues. So it's like either or. Sometimes little things may seem a little bit intolerable, you know, you just can't handle anymore. Like maybe you do like one thing wrong and then someone's all on top of you and you're just sort of like, I don't need to take this crap anymore, you know. But I would say, is it really intolerable, or are you, you know, can you work around this? Can you suck it up this one time? Or maybe you suck it up this time, but you work on your plan on escape. Health is going to be interesting because you may face like exhaustion from working really hard, or maybe prone to some accidents, but nothing too serious. Just be careful and be on the lookout, right? Tread carefully. Just make sure, like, hey, you know, when I'm crossing the street, I am looking both ways. And when you're lifting boxes, you are lifting with your legs and not with your back. Little things like that. Things, just make sure you're using, you know, the proper safety equipment and things like that. Just don't be sloppy. So, and also, like I said, nothing serious, but just, you know, get that checkup that you've been needing to get if you need to, or do that full body assessment, like, hey, how am I feeling? You know, is this, you know, should I change my diet, or should I look into eating a little bit better gradually? Nothing too intense. And really, after the 27th, things are going to get better. Remember that campaign, it gets better, it gets better. And that is, yeah, that's after Mars goes direct. And it's going to be a lot better. You can at least take a deep breath. And then we'll head right into September. If you do have any travel, there'll be short trips. And we're hoping that after all this time, you'll have a chance to have better communication with people that you are involved with, or have business that you work with, or even relationships by the end of August. Last month, I really said there were a lot of problems of external BS kind of interfering, and it would be great if you were more like totally zen or totally in your own and ignored all the stuff that was going on out there. There was also some mental internal stuff going on, but it wasn't driving you crazy. So this month, because of those that eclipse, man, it's really going to play a number game on a lot of people. It's going to really, really pull a fast one on everybody, because it's going to make a lot of people a little crazy. And so it's going to finally reach you this month. There'll be a lot of feelings that you're going to have to work through on your own. If you have like close friends or people who you can actually talk to, or a therapist, lean into them hard this in August, because there'll be a great chance to really get out some of those feelings that you have, and maybe get some other input, or even process them better. But I feel like even if you can get away and be alone, that's perfectly fine. But this is the month that is going to finally reach you, and I think I have some ideas on how to combat that as much as possible. So basically, these are not bad things. This is actually a good thing, because it is going to help you to be mentally stronger, more mentally fit to withstand the future success that you want to manifest. And we know that you want to manifest success in your future. So that is something that that July, working on July to this month, is bringing forth that in your mind. Now the birthday season is here. I really encourage, a lot of you will have no trouble celebrating, but I have a sense and a feeling that there's a few of you out there who are not really into celebrating your birthday, or whatever happened to all of the people from the years before. There may be a few of you who are celebrating alone, not out of choice. And so I encourage every single one of you to go and definitely celebrate that birthday. Celebrate that birthday in some way. That means like taking yourself, just you and yourself, out to a restaurant or a fancy place to get a meal for your birthday, or if it's like getting a birthday cupcake or buying a special treat and something that says happy birthday on it for yourself. Make sure that you truly do celebrate your birthday in a way that feels like you are celebrating a birthday. Because it will psychologically match you up with this successful place that you want to be at, right? It will also get you in tune with your true self. It sounds crazy and kooky, but celebrating that birthday is so important. And it's also a chance to feel like the person who you want to be. So I would urge you to do that. So let's get right into the reading. What should Leos expect at the beginning of the month of August 2018? Leo's Sun, Moon, Rising. Leos, August 2018. What is the starting situation for August 2018? How beautiful, Leos, my brothers and sisters out there. Okay, we have the Four of Cups. Okay. So the Four of Cups is an interesting card. I love all these cards, to be honest. I think they're all very insightful and beautiful and just wonderfully drawn. So let's look at the card and talk about it. Now, there's so many options in here. I'm seeing lots of different things here that are calling me. Now, the general description, if it could be described in one word, this card is about discontent. Being unhappy with the current situation that you're in. If you notice the picture, we have a gentleman that's well dressed, and he has 3 cups in front of him, and he has a 4th cup being given to him from the clouds, from some sort of divine delivery. And he is sitting there with his hands crossed, and which is sort of like a very interesting placement for hands. You either think it's a negative, like he doesn't want the cups, he's not happy with them, he's refusing that 4th cup, and he is or he's thinking, maybe he's thinking, he just has his hands crossed because he doesn't know what to do. I'm not quite sure if he should grab them. So that's interesting. I think that's a cool card. So there's a feeling, of course, of discontentment. We talked about that a few moments ago, of dissatisfaction, that Mars retrograde is just like, hey, look, we're doing all this work, we've got all this stuff, I've got all these things, they're all great, but they're not working for me. They're not doing anything. I'm not feeling any progress. Or maybe it's even as something as simple as just not being able to see that any one of the cups have any value. Right? Because I think for me, if I was the guy in the situation with 3 cups and then another one coming out of the sky, I'd be reaching to grab that cup, right? I would grab that cup that's coming from the sky, and I want them to take it away. So it's about not taking advantage of opportunities too, right? That's an opportunity that is like, I don't know if I want that. Indecision too. Indecision. So there are 2 meanings right there. Okay. So as I said before, I look at these cups as sort of gifts, and yeah, whenever I think of cups, I always think of gifts, like wealth and wealth, but it's like abundance, right? And then you could also look at the cups as means of income, right? Ideas of ways to make money. So for many of you, that's something you're deliberating. You have a lot of ideas from making money, and you don't know if you don't know which one is the one you should be grabbing. You know, which one should you be spending your most time? And you don't want any new ideas, because you're already having a hard time picking amongst the 3 that you already have, or the ones that you already have. So that's one. It could also be like living somewhere or working somewhere and finding that it's, with all the things, all the benefits that it has, all the features, all the, the insurance and the job security, it's not really working for you. It doesn't feed your soul. It's not making you passionate. It doesn't give you any passion and excitement. Or the home that you're in, it's beautiful. It's a home, but it's not where you want to be. It's not in the right town, or it's not in the right location for your safety, or it's not in the right city for networking, or it's just discontentment with it. It could be just about anything, right? It could be just about anything. And I just think that it's a pretty poignant after I was just talking about this. I was just talking about this. Love that. So, yeah, on the Four of Cups, the way to really deal with this, or the best way to counteract the negative effects of this kind of thing, is really focusing on gratitude and looking at all of your resources and seeing where these resources can actually deliver the things that you want. Maybe also like getting clear about your vision of what you want the future to look like would be one of the best things that you can do. In general, just writing down a list of, I want car, I want home, I want a job paying XYZ, I want all these desires that you have, and these standards that you have, things that, yes, you may have blessings, but if there is something missing, they cannot make you happy. So figure out what's missing. Is it that you want a child, or you want a relationship to be more committed? You want commitment behind a relationship, rather. I'm picking up on things like that too. Definitely, that dissatisfaction. Just list off 10 things that you're really, really grateful for, and look at actual resources that you can tap into to change. Like, is there something you can modify and turn it into something else? Is there a class you can take? I don't know. Those are some options. Those are some ideas. I'm picking up a lot of. It's really weird, because with these general readings, I will just tell you, I'm getting a lot of messages. I'm getting a lot of pictures in my mind, and I'm seeing a lot of different things. And it's perhaps tapping into that general sphere, which is a problem, but it's also not a problem, because there's no way for me to do individual readings for everyone. But I'm just saying there's so many areas of life that could be looked at in this particular way. For many of you, it's all of the reasons, like everything. Maybe redoing, changing everything up. Everything needs an overhaul. Everything needs to be examined. Whether you're like, okay, are you satisfied with your home? Are you satisfied with your job, or how much you make, or how much money is in the bank, or the way your closet looks? It's everything. It's everything. So we're talking about a full life reevaluation here. And I think that's pretty exciting if you ask me. I think it's pretty exciting. So I wouldn't look at this card as I mean, some people will look at it as a negative card. This is also all in your head. Again, this is something that's happening in your head. This isn't something that's happening. It can influence the real world, but it's mostly how you're perceiving things and how you're trying to evaluate how this is all gonna go down. So I always feel like the first card is always the most important card in the deck because it sets up the more serious underlying issue that is really giving you the most problems, or what is ever most on your mind in August. And then the other cards sort of support it and kind of helps you to navigate your way to sort of a better day. And let's see what the next cards are. What is the next card? All right, the next one. Let's see what else is in store for Leos in August 2018. August 2018 for Leos. Sun, Moon, Rising. All right, the next card is King of Cups. King of Cups. Okay, so King of Cups, very interesting card. This is a masculine energy. It is known to be a card of mastering emotions, or indicating a need to get in touch with emotions. Some people who do readings actually connect the court. Usually anyone of the court is usually a person, but I don't always see them as a person, but more of personality or personality traits that are peeking through or calling to a person. So where I'm thinking about this is more like King of Cups is sort of like an idea or a place that your mind is at in a particular part of August, where you are centering your emotions, getting control of them, which is good, right? Because that is what's needed to deal with a lot of the issues that are happening right now with the cosmos, and the astrology that's kind of ruling everyone right now. Being a master of your emotions is so important. Why is it emotions? He is, if you look at the picture of him, he is on a body of water, but well, he's actually on a very small plot of land, not very much land, very small plot, and then he's surrounded by water, and the water is not calm. It is, some of it is calm and some of it is pretty rough there, very wavy. There's a ship behind him and a little fish behind him, so he's kind of out in the middle of kind of an uncertain place. So he's around him it's things are happening around him, but he's pretty calm, and he's got his land that he's ruling. It's probably the island of one. And so it really speaks about stability in the midst of turmoil and uncertainty. He's very cool and collected. He's got his cup in his hand, so he's got his comforts of riches and gifts, and he's not worried at all. It's a very good. This is a very good card to have because there's a lot of confidence, and it talks of really a lot of self-improvement. It's about like recognizing reality but refusing to let it define your future. I mean, isn't that cool? Then this is not where the Leo goes out to hunt down and stalk its prey. It just waits for the there's sort of a zen to it, like things are going to start coming to you, and then there's a zen to it. I love it. It's great. So let's look into this more. Why are you going to need to be the King of Cups? Why are Leos going to need to be the King of Cups? What's happening? What's really happening? Why will the Leos need to be the King of Cups in August 2018? August 2018. Why will they need to be the King of Cups? All right, Seven of Wands. There's going to be a competitive energy. Yeah, there's going to be a competitive energy. It doesn't mean that there necessarily is going to be competition, but you're going to feel like there's going to be competition. And the reason why I say that is because it's definitely a psychological stance. It's courage against a battle, or to even be the best, to be noticed. And you'll be feeling this, and actually it's not a negative thing. This is a time of action, like putting to good use your strengths along with your ambition and timing, and to like work and things that are going to propel you ahead, that are going to propel you ahead. This is more like work, future goals, plans for the future. There may be a friend who is like beautiful and fantastic, or maybe a cousin that's strong and is getting a new job and is being incredibly resourceful with the family. And there may be feelings like, oh, I wish I was like such and such, or I've got to be better than such and such because I can't let them show me up. Or, at work, especially at work, that's where the tensions could like cross in the line for you, really, at work. And I see it now. It's basically co-workers, just a struggle of like, this person can do it better than you, or maybe the fear of this person doing it better than you, or taking the control out of something that you used to do, now someone else does. And I instinctively feel like, as a person seeing it on the outside, you should let that go. But at the same time, that exact emotional response to that kind of competition, and like is exactly what you need in August. This is some of the stuff I was telling you that you needed to go through in August. You need this. Because this is courage. This is courage for you to find out, like, is there something else that you can excel in, where, or maybe you do shine a lot more than you think you do. Notice, and just notice with the card, the person is on a platform. You know, the person's on a platform where the other competitors are down lower. And that person is in the spotlight, is in the spotlight. Their position is firm, and yet there's a threat, right? There's the threat of it. And it may not even be real, because you can't really tell if he's being attacked or if he's attacking, right? So the stance really is, and you hear it all over the internet when people are talking about numbers and they're talking about competition, that you should never worry about the competition. The only person you should compete with is yourself. And it's so true here. It's so true. Just don't worry about the competition, because they have their path and you have yours. You have a special path. And if their flame is to burn brightly right now, let it. Yours is going to burn in the perfect way for your trajectory. You can't take another person's life, because yours is so much richer. Okay, so I think at this point too, remembering your purpose and remembering the purpose of the, you know, the things that you want to change about your current situation, and the way you want to visualize your future, the way you're trying to manifest your future, that is so much more important. This is such small beans compared to the great treasures that await you in your future. Once you consider yourself a competitor with another person, you've already diminished yourself. You've already minimized who you are. So never compare yourself to other people. These guys also, these people that you call your competitors, can also be your allies. If you work together, you can actually come together and do great things together. So that's another piece to the puzzle, and I'll let you ponder that. Yeah, I want to know more. What's going on? What else is happening for Leo? This is getting interesting. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. What is in store for Leo in August 2018? Leo, August 2018. Okay, I have the Six of Cups. Alright, so this card really speaks of nostalgia and remembering the past in a very fond way. It is just a moment. We're talking about it like a day, or maybe you know, getting on the phone, talking to an old friend, sharing fun memories between the two, maybe even chatting with a family member, remembering your childhood, talking about memories with a loved one. or spending the evening watching an old show and remembering fond memories about that show and about your life, maybe, where you were at the time. Yeah, and it's all good. I think that's something that that you could use to your advantage, as far as like being able to let go of, some of the past, as far as the negative part of the past. I know that part always seems to come up more than the positive, but this is kind of nice to have those great memories of the past and cherish them, actually cherish them. And it could come through also cleaning, because you are reorganizing things and you're not satisfied with things, so you've been moving things around. And I see for a lot of you pulling out old memories, like old albums of books of albums, of picture albums that they used to do in the old days. Now you just have like Facebook profiles or whatever, but I see a lot of you pulling out the photo albums and going through those things and seeing visiting the past. This is great. I mean, this is great, and it's a short time. It's not going to be a long engagement, but it's probably like a day or a weekend or something where you're going to have some fun for a little bit, and it'll be more nostalgic than anything. Well, let's see what else is in store for Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, August 2018. What else is in store? Let's find out. Oh boy. The Devil. Now, a lot of people think that this is a bad card, and let me tell you what I'm thinking. Okay, so the Devil card. This is quite interesting, because this is another one of those things I'm really picking up, that this is sort of like, with all the things that you're thinking, all the things that you're experiencing the last 3, 4, 5 months, you're doing so much right. You're doing so much right. So this card really comes up as more like having a rough day, lash out at someone that you probably don't want to, right? It's like more like a personality shadow thing, or the temptation to do something very mean to somebody else, or say something very mean. Just the temptation. Because it doesn't mean that you're locked into doing it. A lot of you will be thinking about it. A lot of you will jump out and say it. Right? It's about how much control you have of your mind. And do you say the first thing that comes to mind, or do you think about what you're going to say before you say it? That's what's happening here. And this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing just a temporary, like, moment of the shadow personality. And when I say shadow personality, Leo's has a shadow personality trait, which is like, sometimes we can be incredibly selfish. I mean, selfish to the point where that's mine, and that's mine. So you can't have anything, right? Or you may come to a point where you're fed up with someone else getting all of the time, and you'll maybe go into a fit and say, I want some time too, which is not a bad thing, but it's more like the way it comes off is like, you know, like toddlerish. And to say it, you know, like there may be moments where there's like blurted out comments that may be insensitive, or something that, you know, you're absolutely you don't mean to do. You know, not sharing the spotlight with people. Like you're doing one thing and you're doing another thing, but you don't want anyone else to get the credit for doing it, so you want to just do it all. And of course, pushing yourself to the limit and breaking point and getting more upset about it too. So there's that aspect. There's that martyr aspect. I want to get the credit for putting this together, so no one else will get to say that they worked on it. It's all mine. And that's part of a shadow that I see coming through. That could be dangerous, because when you put people in a very minimalist position, then you won't get any help when you truly need it. You won't get any sympathy, and people will just like, oh yeah, he's on the struggle bus right now, let him stay on there. He likes working by himself. I see it happen all the time, actually. And it's a possibility. It's something that could happen. And try to share the spotlight. Try to be extra kind. There may be times when you want to punch someone, or tell someone to go somewhere. You know, tell somebody like, I'm sorry, but you may not want to handle things with grace. And I suggest to you that you do. I suggest you do the opposite of the card. I suggest you resist the temptation to do it. Here's an interesting piece to this card. It's not a doomed situation, because if you notice that the two humans creature, well, they're not quite all the way humans because they have tails and they have horns, but the two humans are in chains because they are tied in to their temptations. But look, or they are slaves to their temptation. But if you look, the chain around their neck is actually not very tight. They could easily remove it. So what they're doing is by choice. And I think that is marvelous. Like, oh, so you have a choice. You have a choice. You can do the opposite of this. You can choose to not be a slave to your temptations, to do something that could hurt another person, could make you look bad, and which I know Leos don't like looking bad. So, hey, that let's handle that right away by not falling into the temptation. Share more. Be kind. Listen. Listen to people when they're talking. Comfort them if they need it. If you're dealing with somebody who's outrageous, kindly back away and maybe see if someone else could be helpful to them, or just see if you could phase out while they're talking to you, or whatever techniques you need to do to get away from that person, and nicely back away, or nicely back out of that situation. Or if a whole bunch of people are doing a project and they didn't include you, don't take it personally. Just be more forgiving of people. I mean, you don't have to forgive him. I mean, but act like you did. Just act like you did. This will definitely span into your personal life and in every facet of your life, because you're going to be a little bit irritated of having to deal with so much for so long. And it'll just be easy for you to just snap. The lunacy I told you is gonna finally get to us, Leos. Everybody else has been affected by the lunacy, but it's finally gonna get to us. And the temptation is going to be there. Resist the temptation. You can do it. I know you can. Now let's see what the next card is for Leos. What is the next card for Leo? Sun, Moon, Rising, 2018. August, the beautiful month of August, for the incredible and fantastic Leo. What is in store? Wow! The Star. Okay, this is great. All right, guys, this is incredible. I mean, if you can get through all the other stuff, boom, you got the Star. The Star is basically, it's like a magical wish coming true for you. It's not, it doesn't mean it's happening. It's more like the act of wishing. If you notice, the maiden is watering the pond, filling the pond with water, and also nourishing the land. And that's exactly what this is. It's like nourishment for the soul, chicken soup for the soul, or some sort of really good thing that comes into your life on a daily basis that is going to soothe you. You're going to feel great. You're going to have a feeling of hope and optimism and faith, and inner light and patience. Before, even in the midst of whatever's happening, you'll find a zen finally. Remember the King of Cups. The calmness in the middle of chaos, or in the middle of a very interesting situation, to say the least. And it's the promise that hard times don't last. They don't ever last. Not forever. They may last 10 years, but they won't last forever. So if your intentions are good and you're trying to do something that's good, this is it. This is, the confusion really starts to dissipate. We're going to get that kind of relief this month, which is great. Leos need this hope. So one of the things I'm really picking up here is just to encourage my Leos during this time of uncertainty and weirdness, even within your own thoughts. Just remember to dream and wish and hope and be optimistic and manifest. Practice the art of manifestation. It's going to be your most powerful ally, because your perception of lack and all those things, perception of competition, is not going to help you. What is going to help you to get out of the situation is optimism and hope. Like the Star, this card, the Star, it's as I said before, it is nourishment. You need to nourish your soul with hope and positivity. It's going to be hard, but it's something that is much necessary. Much necessary. That's what's going to get you through. Now let's see what else is in store for Leo. Let's check it out. What's in store for Leo in August 2018? 2018. The month of August. The 8th month of the year in 2018. All right, we've got Ace of Wands. So to me, this is kind of, I mean, this is really kind of cool. You have such a progression of activities this month. So many changes in this card. Like, we're talking about a new venture or a new passion, right? This could be love, this could be business, but it's new, it's brand new, and it's underway, it's happening. So there's a lot of creative energy here. There's a lot of new ideas coming about. We talked about the possibilities of having too many ideas before. Now you know what to do with them, and you're creating even more ideas that are similar, you know, that kind of group together and push you forward and push your ideas forward. You know, sometimes you have an idea, but you need several other smaller ideas to push that one big idea ahead. That is, you know, that is what this is telling me here. There's going to be a lot of money opportunities. Don't sleep on them, Leo. We got to take advantage of those money opportunities. I mean, it could change at just about everything that we've been wanting in our lives. So any money opportunities, just look at it as yourself being a merchant and selling and using the skills that you have, okay, to enhance your life, enhance your future, and possibly enhance other people's lives in the process. You know, this card really talks about potential. The potential that is mustering up. I mean, there's already a lot of potential that you've been able to recognize and that you're putting into action. But this is a lot more than that. This is, now you have the confidence to go with it, right? You're actually in a place where you can take advantage of your creative ideas, and that's a very powerful place to be. Very powerful. This is you finding your confidence to do, to seize your possibilities. It's going to be a great feeling time. You're going to feel great about this. And yeah, this is it. This is you've been planning, and you've been wanting, you've been deliberating, you've been dissatisfied, and now the possibility is opening up. Very temporary moments, those cards beforehand, where you felt like competition and you were tempted and you were deliberating ideas. Now you're actually going to be able to seize your opportunity, if you can. if you can, you'll be seizing it. So I'm really glad to see that card for us, because it's something that we really need to remember. Like, all these little things that are happening in your life, not gonna last long. Eventually, that sunshiny day is coming. We've gotta remember that. So the next, let's see, the next card, and the very last card, to sum up the ultimate solution for Leo's Sun, Moon, Rising in August 2018. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, so inspired by the Holy Grail, this particular card. This is an incredible card. I mean, and I am just kind of blown away. You got the star, you got in a row, the star, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. This is just, you're winning. You're winning. I love it. You're winning. Okay, so there's 5 streams of water here. And basically each of the 5 streams are the 5 senses. They represent the 5 senses. And as you can see, they're streaming outwards. So you're going to be at the top of your game. It's going into a pond of lilies, which is a symbol of emotional growth. This is the piece of the puzzle that is so needed for you to deal with September, October, November, right? That you're going to be getting from all of the lessons that you're learning in August and all of the lessons that you learned in July, culminating into your emotional stability. And this is going to reflect in your love life. You're going to be the master of your relationships. In work, anything that goes on there, totally the master of all in your work life. You're going to be doing, things will be coming at you, and you're going to be completely, yep, I know how to deal with that. Let's do that. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Nothing can touch you if you are the master of your own emotions. I mean, if you go back, we were already, this ties in beautifully. This ties in beautifully to the King of Cups, right? Who is also the master of emotions. This is about dealing with your own enemy within, temptation, right? With the Devil card, dealing with your own doubt, your own dissatisfaction with life and the way things are, and maybe even current events. But you are learning the emotional stability to keep going. This is fantastic. This is incredible. This is also, it's a renewal of your emotions, so this is fantastic. There is also a possibility for some of you that this new emotional feeling comes from something that happens, like finding out your with child, or falling in love. Falling in love is another way that this could happen. For a big, huge majority of you, I am just seeing money, of course, almost all the time. I keep picking up money signs, but with this card, it doesn't really, it tells me, it's saying to me that there may be a component of a new friend or a new lover or a new something of something from the outside helping this along too. Like just having someone new to share ideas with, or a new partner. And that's exciting. That's exciting. It's a very beautiful card. So this is really going to be a very interesting month for you, Leo, where you're going to be doing a lot of internal work based on the cards that I pulled from my shuffle and from the things that I was able to extract from the reading. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to this channel for Leo monthly readings, and do hit that icon. It's a bell icon right next to the subscribe button to be the first to know when my next video gets posted. Many, many blessings to you, my awesome Leos, for the month of August in the year of 2018. Remember, this channel is dedicated to you and to you alone.